Welcome to a brand new podcast, and this is the Oracle 19, and my name is Mr. Greatness. For any business inquiries, if you want to put your business on this platform, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com, and that's the same email if you want to make a donation to this platform, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com, same email through our PayPal account. And you can shop online to our baby shopping mall, www.evolutionoflondon.com. We have men's, kids, ladies' clothes, house products, cologne, and perfume, and much more. So that's evolutionoflondon.com. Also check us out at evolutionoflondon.org, O-R-G. There you'll find custom clothes, accessories, digital products such as ebooks for personal as well as business use. And finally, evolutionoflondon.store, S-T-O-R-E. You'll find games, DVDs, lotions, soaps, and more clothes. So that's evolutionoflondon.store. We have different links to other affiliates. www.linktree.com. You can definitely support us that way. And we have a Patreon channel, which we have videos that's not posted on YouTube. And we have digital artwork and consulting services as well. So that's www.patreon.com/Evolution of London. And we on rumble.com. Just type in the Oracle 19. You'll find shows there as well as we keep growing on that platform. And also you can check us out, and I never really talk about that, but you can check us out at www.oracle19radio.com. You'll see shows there as well. It's www.oracle19radio.com. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 12-ounce jars, 100% soy wax, from scented to unscented. Now the scented candles is from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. And if you want to place an order, you can email the company at royalty9international@gmail.com, and you can find them on social media, TikTok, as well as Instagram, the Royalty 9 International. Mr. Will, he's been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book a consultation, you can email him at healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. That's healthfitnessconsultant1@gmail.com. And you can support his merch, www.wjaccessories.com for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. DJ Panthro, he's an international DJ. Should be in Thailand right now, possibly in Singapore, but right now it's in Thailand. So support his brand. And also, if you want to book for him to come to your venue, you can email him at djpanthro519@gmail.com. That's DJ Panthro, PANTHRO 519@gmail.com. And you can find him on social media, YouTube, DJ Panthro, Instagram, and TikTok, DJ Panthro. And he have a bonus platform on TikTok, The Real DJ Panthro. Again, that's The Real DJ Panthro. Again, DJ Panthro. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. We have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his YouTube channel, you will see his other social media sites, so you can support him that way. Like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continuing to train on YouTube is the Greatness 19 channel. The Greatness 19 channel, we have a whole wide range of different shows, educational shows that open up your third eye. Over 240 shows. So I need your guys to like, subscribe, and share to the Greatness 19 channel on YouTube. And if you scroll down the page, you will see Mr. Evolution of London. That's our health and wellness channel. So I need your guys to support us that way. Mr. Evolution of London, great stuff on there. So like, subscribe, and share on that platform. Cindy's Place. Cindy's Place has custom clothes. She has custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. www.cindysplace.org is where you can find her products. Very good stuff. So once again, that's www.cindysplace.org. Now the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned will be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. Both of those are on YouTube. Rumble.com, just type in the Oracle 19, and finally www.theoracle19radio.com. Again, that's www.theoracle19radio.com. All right, well, as usual, I have different topics, and this one is no different. The Great White Hopes. The Great White Hopes. Now, starting off with women's basketball, you had Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. And she's a superstar player on Iowa college basketball. They came short of winning the world, the national championship, women's national championship basketball. I don't really follow up too much on them, but I'm starting to pay attention and watch a little bit because there's some better competition, better talent, I should say, than the yesteryears. The yesteryears, 20, 30 years ago, women's basketball, just college basketball, it really was trash to me. But the talent level, I have to admit, have gotten better. So I started to pay attention to pay attention to women's basketball. Again, I can't yet follow a whole game. It's not that exciting to me, but neither is the college men's basketball. I could follow the whole game, to be truthful, but the talent level is still better within the men's college basketball than the women's. But I have to admit, the women's basketball is improving, and I like it. Very good talent, and it's good. It's good for the game, and I like it. So, but here's the thing: switching to Caitlin Carter. I'm saying Carter. Let me get it right. Caitlin Clark. Young white woman that plays superstar. Very good. Actually, she's like remind me of the women's version of Larry Bird. To be truthful with you, the women's version of Larry Bird. Now, if y'all guys is basketball fans or watch basketball like I do, Larry Bird played on the Boston Celtics. He was a small forward, but also played power forward, 6'9", around 220 pounds. Great shooter, great passer. One of the all-time greats. Let's put that out there. Larry Bird was nice, with his skill set. Wasn't a fast individual, not the God-given talent, but he played hard. He knew the game. Very great player, just straight up great player. But anytime you have a white person that is good, and I check out social media a lot of times what people say, they are considered God. You know, they overhype. And that's where I'm going to talk about this type of topics today, the great white hopes. Because, let's be for real, a lot of the white supremacists, alleged white supremacists, they hype up the white players even more. Like the best of the best. Now, again, Larry Bird was a great player, but he wasn't the greatest basketball player. But if you listen to certain people, and especially the media, which is governed by white structure, and especially in the 80s and the early 90s, definitely in the 80s. And I'm gonna get to Caitlin Clark in a moment, but I'm just touching on Larry Bird. He was, especially when it was Boston against the Lakers, in reality, it was really black against white. White people mostly rooted for Boston, and even in the Boston Garden, it was mostly white people there. Well, I mean, usually white people is within the games anyway, because they usually have the ones with the money. That's a different story. I'm gonna bring it back, but I just have to put certain things out there. In the 80s, it was really black against white, and it was a reflection of the Boston Celtics and the Lakers. Let's be for real. And the white media definitely overhyped, in my opinion, Larry Bird. Now, again, he was a great player, but was he the greatest? No. I mean, Jordan is better than, my opinion. Well, not even, I should say my opinion. Jordan is better than Bird. But, and then you had other players who were better than Bird too. I would even take LeBron James, because they both played the same position. LeBron James is a better basketball player than Bird. And even Larry Bird admitted about Jordan that he felt he was the best player in his era. Larry Bird even said that. But again, it's always hyped up, and when you have players, white players, that is good, they're going to make them even God-like. And then they will get a lot of simpish black people that will vouch for that too. My opinion. I know this is sounding very controversial, but this is my opinion. I will stand on that. And that's in reflection with Caitlin Clark. She's like, in my opinion, the white version or the female version of Larry Bird. She can shoot, she's very good player. But I can see the hypeness, they hyping her up now because she's going to be drafted in the NBA or WNBA probably in the first round. Definitely first round, but probably the number one choice, which again, very good player. But you could see with the advertisement and talking about her, it's just an extra overhype. She was invited, I believe, to the White House, and Iowa didn't even win the national championship. So, what that telling you? Again, her team did not even win the national championship, but she was invited to the White House. Now, when you're invited to the White House, it's usually the champions, the national champions, or whether they college or professional, they are invited to the White House, not the second, the runner-up. Another example, see, I'm thinking about, I use boxing. When you have white boxers that is good, they overhype them. The days of Jack Johnson. There was white boxers like, I believe, Jack Dempsey. They're good now, but they make them godlike. You had even, remember, if all of my boxing historians, you had Larry Holmes, this was in the 80s, and Jerry Cooney, and how he was the great white hope. That was very controversial. Y'all guys, if all y'all younger people, go on YouTube and type Larry Holmes and Jerry Cooney, and how Jerry Cooney was overhyped. Jerry Cooney fought bums, or he fought ex-champions that was 39, 38, 40 years old. Basically, they was used to bees and he beat them up. They hyped up Jerry Cooney, and he was considered the god until Larry Holmes had to smack him up. But I'm just giving you different examples. I could keep going too, but within basketball or sports in general, when there's a white player that is halfway decent, he is made to be the god of that sport. And he's hyped up within social media, or I should say media in general, via commercials, or it's just the propaganda train being hyped up. And my point with all of this is something that's been going on for years, decades, centuries, especially with the white supremacists. When one of their own, and not even that talented or not as great, they're going to definitely put him or her up on a pedestal. And you even find this within life, whether in your own university or your job. Great white hopes. This is just because we in the system of suspected white supremacy. Not even suspected, just white supremacy. Because it's not even suspected, it is in your face, directly and indirectly. And especially you black people need to know this. A lot of you is in the fog because you get white people that smile with you, give you a hug or a cookie, pat you on the back and say how a wonderful guy you are, but turn around and still would disrespect you and still talk behind your back, but will smile in your face at your job or wherever, especially you find at your job. You could be a good worker, work very hard, but then you have a white person that half of the skill set as you have, but made to be put above you. The great white hope, or even the great white hype. This not only span within sports, or I should say, it's not only in sports, but it just spans all throughout life. Great white hopes or great white hypes. You all the time. You just got to know the system that you are in. We're in the system of white supremacy. And when you're in the system of white supremacy, these are things occur. So back to Caitlin Clark. A lot of the NBA players, WNBA players, are jealous of her. Only reason why, because they know the hype coming in, the hype. And it's not necessarily, first we got to see how she performs in the WNBA before you rate her as anything. Right now, she's even being propped up to saying she's going to be one of the all-time greats in the WNBA, and she even haven't stepped foot in the professional basketball league for the ladies as of yet. But she's already being rated to potentially be the greatest ever. And we're talking the WNBA, the Women's Basketball League. Again, the great white hype. This is done all the time. And this is something that is a reality, as I'm repeating. You just have to know the system, especially you black people. But I know a lot of you black people is in a fog, and you don't, it's like, it doesn't matter. The mentality you have, well, it doesn't matter. This don't affect my life. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it does, indirectly. And maybe in some cases directly. You cannot just overlook systematic white supremacy. And a lot of you black people overlook that. Because again, you get blinded by the smiles, by the patting on the back. I don't like when they pat me on the back. I don't need your patting on my back. I shrug my shoulders when you do that, because I'm like, the heck you pat me on the back? I'm not your pet dog. You know, the phoniness you find in society. But this is what it is. I just thought I had to touch on that part. I'm flip-flopping back and forth with modern day society, but also talking about the great white hopes / hypes. And it just sparked me because I'm listening to the media talking about this young lady. And again, she's good. No question about it. Won't take that away. But they already got her in the future Hall of Fame. If you listen to it now, I might be a little bit over the top, but if you listen to the media and you listen to what they say about her, you're thinking that she already played 15, 20 years in the WNBA and can match up being the all-time great. And even they matching up with the men. You see, I've seen this before. And I mentioned within boxing the Jerry Cooneys and Larry Holmes, the Larry Birds. You can go into tennis. You know, how they treated Serena Williams and Venus Williams, especially Serena. She's really one of the all-time greatest tennis players. But when she was playing the game, she was basically, they rated her in a lot of derogatory ways, and still hyping up the white tennis players. And she was clearly the best tennis player in her era. And heck, she's one of the best of all times, but they still downplay it. They still will overhype the other tennis players. Like, it was a tennis player, let's see, I think Marie Shaponova, whatever. You guys can probably email me that. She was considered pretty, which I didn't think she wasn't pretty. It wasn't, but they was hyping up, and her tennis game was trash. Maria Shaponova. I know I'm not pronouncing her last name right, but anyway, her rated as beautiful, attractive, and all, just hyping up. And she wasn't a great tennis player. She just was, they just hyped her up because blonde hair, blue eye, flat behind. That's beauty. Okay. So, again, overhyping. You can even look at, since we're talking about beauty, you see the Victoria's Secret women mostly, and how they built. Overhyping. That's beauty. I mean, sorry, I don't see it that way, but great white hypes. That's what it's about in systematic white supremacy. Hyping up beauty, hyping up intelligence, hype, hype, hype. Your angels is white, your prophets is white, the Lord is white. Hype, hype, hype. The great white hypes. This is always going on within life, whether it's sports, and I'm just pointing this out to you, or real life, job, religion, beauty, hype, hype, hype. Again, pay attention to what is out here. Hype. Angel food cake. White angel food cake. Heavenly. Pure. Hype. Devil food cake. Black. Murky. Somber. Disgusting. Black cat. Dangerous. Unlucky. Hype, hype, hype. Black people. Bad. Dangerous. Low down. Problematic. Hype, hype, hype. White. Pure. Honest. Clean. Hype, hype, hype. This is where you find a society that a lot of people don't like to talk about. When this information is talked about, it's like, oh, you being a racist, separatist. How can I be a racist? Am I putting down, destroying another race? but that's a different issue. Separatists. Did I talk about in this conversation separating? No. I'm just talking about what's out here, what's hyped up, who's hyped up, why they hyped up. This is what I see. And this is a shame. It is what it is. You know, it's just been going on for centuries. And would it stop? No. As long as you have systematic white supremacy, this is not going to stop of hyping up white athletes, white people in general, whether their beauty, the way of life, who they are, them being so-called perfect people. Everything within North American society is white-related per se, and is always hyped up. This is not something like a maybe, could be, not true. You can see this in real time right in front of you. White people always is going to hype themselves up. That's just how it's overhyped, I should say. Just have to pay attention. And if you really sit back and analyze, and I use sports as an example because sports is a big template within society, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Again, this is not like a maybe, could be. This is in your face. Whether you want to see it indirectly or directly. Sports is just a big template. I just gave you a little examples. You can Google this. You can go on social media. You can listen to the news. This is what they do. They. And who is they? What color is they? Now, people say, oh, you're preaching hate and stuff like that. No, it's not preaching any hate. I'm just stating the obvious. The obvious is right in front of you. If you want to pay attention. Now, if you just want to be deaf, dumb, and blind, especially you black people, then, hey, that's on you. Most white people, not all, most white people don't want to admit to this. Most white people will give me pushback and say, I'm wrong, it's not true, and you preaching this and you saying this. No, I'm just stating the obvious what's out here. You just drumming up racism, you drumming up hate. I'm not drumming up nothing. I'm just stating the obvious. If you have an eye and ear, just go on social media. Type up social media. Type up, go and watch your local news channel and see how white people is hyped up. As actors, actresses, they'll tell you who's the most attractive man and who's the most attractive woman. And you look at them and you like, for real? They look like trash. But they hyped up. Hollywood. This is what it is. Being intelligent. Hype. But they know how to reverse it when it's black. Everything black is considered bad. And then they pull out some of these bogus stats and stuff, and then they will get other black people to vouch for that, and then it becomes law. White law. And I was watching different social media channels, and One particular actually was on Star Report, and when a show he was talking about P. Diddy, Puffy, or Sean Combs. And you have white people on the show that clearly admitted, white people. It was a show, a recent show. You go on the Star Report, and he was talking about, again, Sean Combs and what he's going through, you know, the allegations and stuff. But during the show, white people was admitting how degenerate they are. This is not something I'm saying. If you listen to that particular show, white people was admitting how degenerate they are. And I might have a show on that talking about that part. But this is not something that I am saying. This is something that I listen to other white people saying. Other white people. So you check out that show, and if you're not sure, I just send me an email and I can send you the link to it on YouTube. The Star Report. Star been in radio for decades, but he had a show talking. It was about, the topic was about Sean Combs, but he doing the show because he have like 2 or 3 hour shows at times, and white people was on the show and was talking about this. So if you definitely interested, go and research him and find the show, listen to it. But this is not the only, okay? White people mention themselves a lot, but we black people don't pay attention to that. Hype. Overly hype. And having degenerate nature. Worse than any other race. White people mention this all the time. Them sitting on the ground. I live among white people when they getting drunk on the bus. How rowdy they could get and jumping down, falling out, taking their shirts off. The women taking their shirts off on the public buses, screaming. Girls gone wild videos. Need I say more? I mean, they get crazy. Men sniffing coke and on the crack of women's behinds, putting tubes of coke and sniffing it and putting it in the woman's butthole and sniffing it up. Degenerate stuff. White people stuff. They get down like that. A couple examples. I could keep going with the examples. But if you found black people doing that heavy, sniffing coke in the behinds of men, sniffing coke in the behinds of and putting in the rectums of women and sniffing it up, doing wild stuff like that, fingering other men. I think I might even talk about that. I might even talk about that on even next show. I'm thinking about that. Don't be surprised. Next show, I might even talk about that. But the overhype, the great white hypes, the great white hopes. This is it. This is within our society. Sports, media, science, I should say education, the educational system, hypes all around. small and large. Like, subscribe, and share to the Oracle 19 podcast on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music. You can subscribe to the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. We in over 52 countries worldwide. So, what do you think? Is this true or false? The great white hopes / hypes. Thank you for listening.